Good morning and welcome. Welcome indeed to another edition of the Mark Moses Show podcast here, yes, in beautiful, beautiful Central Florida on the coast. And we are always broadcasting from the Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Take back control of your life. Call them today. 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys, official sponsor of our studio. Also want to give a shout out to Walk On Sports Bistreaux there in Vieira, home of the $5 Tito's all day, every day at Walk On's Vieira. And I thought today we'd get this fine gentleman on. He's done television. He is a radio pro. I'm trying not to laugh. He is my great friend, Chase Bunker. Chase does a great job as a reporter, anchor there in Jacksonville, News Talk Radio and Sports. How you doing, buddy?
Mark, thank you as always again for letting me just Spartan kick down the door and just say, I want to be on your show. And you just go, okay. Yeah. That's fine.
Great. Look, as a guy that books guests, I appreciate it. I do. I wish more people would just bombard me with, would you like to come on? It's great.
That's the thing where it's like every time I feel slightly bad about it, where I'm just like, I'm really like inviting myself over to his house. But at the same time, it's like, and it's usually when I'm angry, because it's usually after like the Magic lose, the Buccaneers disappoint me, something that just generally sets me off. And I just text Mark like 5 different things, usually with swearing. And then I just say, I need to be on your show.
The text yesterday was after the Orlando Magic game. I believe I was leaving the arena and driving home. And you're like, that's it. I need an outlet. All right. I was going to start with NFL, but if you just want to start there, the Magic lose last night. They're down 3-1 to Boston. What'd you think of the game last night?
I mean, I think first off, the free throw disparity, I think, is big. First off, 32 free throws to 20 free throws. The Celtics had that advantage. I think the one thing that also frustrated me was just the fact that like the Magic's shooting is so bad, they can't make free throws. And that's the thing where it's just like before, put this as an example, whenever the Buccaneers had a field goal kick back when they didn't have a kicker, I got anxiety. Now every time they're on the free throw lines, like I don't know if they can make these because their shooting is that bad. You have Paolo and Franz, they're set. Protect them at all costs. And then you just pray to God that somebody just has a good day. We had the Corey Joseph game. We had the Wendell Carter Jr. game. And it just wasn't enough. Like, it's just every time there is a streak, the Celtics just end up just like turning it back on because they're the Celtics. They're the champs. They're an incredibly deep team. My problem is, and it's a personal problem, I hate all of Boston. I think Boston fans are awful, especially during this series. They're just incredibly soft. I hate the Patriots. I hate the Red Sox. I hate the Bruins. All of them, just bad. If you were to ask me the teams that I hate the most, it's the Saints and all of Boston, just as a whole. And so to see them happy, oh, we got another win. We're about to move on. It's like, no, I hate that you're happy because you're all just awful people.
When you turn on Fox News and there's those commercials with Mark Wahlberg come on and he starts giving all of his thoughts, do you also want to punch the TV? Does that go in there with everything you hate of Boston?
I think I've excused Mark Wahlberg. I've excused Ben Affleck because I actually like his Batman. And also, I want to see The Accountant too. Matt Damon, because of that Stella Artois commercial. You know what? He's excused. Who else? Seth MacFarlane. I like Family Guy. He's excused.
It's the teams,
Murphys. It's the teams.
It's the team.
Who's not excused? The people that made Fever Pitch. You're not excused.
Oh.
I hate you all.
Okay. If I didn't chime in right there, I think you just would have kept going. I think you would have just gone for the next hour on people you hate and don't like and who's excused from your list.
Yes.
Dude, there's that documentary on HBO where it's the history of the Celtics. And I said this a couple weeks ago. So, look, I respect them. They've won 18 titles.
Yes.
And I have read the book of basketball by Bill Simmons like 3 times. I love that book. I do. And I respect them again. But I started watching the first episode and I'm like, I'm not sitting through this for 10 episodes. I'm not a Boston fan. And to really put the fuel on the fire for you, there were a lot of Celtics fans there last night at the Kia Center.
This is the thing that Orlando needs to do. There needs to somehow be a way that you can prevent all that from happening, because I'm getting really tired of opponents in our home arena shouting MVP, because I don't know what you can do to stop this, because it happens too dang often. It happens in New York. It happens with Boston fans. I think the one thing that we had the advantage last series with Cleveland was the fact that it's Cleveland. Like, if you're comparing to with Boston, obviously Boston has the bigger fan base. A lot of people from Boston travel down here. You don't really see that with Cleveland as much. I don't know if you have to put restrictions, and I know that it's not a PR nightmare, but it's generally frowned upon when you put limitations. Detroit doing that. Detroit's doing that with New York. And I feel like, I know that Orlando's the melting pot and everybody comes down here to retire or die or vacation, but they have to put some form of restriction to make the Kia Center a home field advantage. Yes, the majority is Magic fans, but like 60-40 is a majority, and that 40 can get very loud. They need to do something to fix that.
All right, so here's the question. If you're a season ticket holder, you know the team is not going to make a deep playoff run. If you watch them play all season, 82 games, you're like, look, they went 41-41. They're not at full strength. They have no backcourt. They can't shoot the three. Like you said, they got Paolo and Franz. All right. Is it wrong if you're a season ticket holder, you sell one of the playoff games to make up all your money? Is that, in your eyes, is that wrong, where you shouldn't sell your tickets? Because that's what happened. All the Celtics fans, hey, they bought them up. Hey, I want to go see my Celtics play. It's probably cheaper to go to Orlando than to go see them play in Boston. Your thoughts, Councilman? What do you got?
Thank you. Well, I should put on like a powdered wig and like twirl a gavel. I don't know why you twirl gavels. I think I understand selling season tickets because you're not going to go to all the games. If you do, you're a dedicated fan, or Jack Nicholson if it's the Lakers. I feel like when I see this with like Buccaneers Twitter, where they say, hey, they're selling the tickets, you only sell them to Buccaneers fans. Hey, I'm selling my Magic season tickets. I'm only selling it to Magic fans. And I think that there is some blame there. Also, I feel like selling season tickets is incredibly dangerous, just because the fact that like you're putting in all this money and you're trusting another person to not screw this up. Because remember, like there was that one season ticket holder over the Lions where they sold one ticket, they end up holding the flag on the field, and they get into like a spark, like a shouting match with Matt LaFleur. I believe that's what happened. Either way, it's like, hey, don't screw this up for me. And so I feel like that's a bit dangerous. But going back to your original point, I feel like if you are going to sell tickets, because it is going to be inevitable, sell to the actual fans. Like sell to the Magic fans. If you're a Celtics season holder, you sell it to the Celtics fans. They're not doing the same thing to the Magic. Like if I fly up to Boston right now and try to buy from one of them, they're not going to sell to me. Do it for the Magic fan.
So you want some type of background check when you're selling the tickets.
Exactly. I need background checks. What does the CIA think about this? I want the FBI involved. I want all these agencies. I'm going to go through background checks. VerifyMe.inc. I don't know if that's a website, but it sounds like a website. So therefore, I trust it.
We're here at Chase Bunker. Does a great job. News Talk Radio there in Jacksonville. He's a big Magic fan. I'm going to just say this, and I'll say it again. I'm not signing up for this again, Chase. I'm not. I'm not. Okay, I get it. Like, oh, Jalen Suggs is injured, and no. I'm going to put my foot down right now. I think when you look at the current construction of this roster, it's Paolo and Franz, and then I'm taking any other phone call they get. Those are the only two protected players, and I'm sorry, you cannot run this back. You run this back, even with a healthy Jalen Suggs, you're only going to win 40-something wins, and then you're going to be a road team in round one. I'm not doing it. Here's what happened. I was thinking this when I was driving to work this morning. So the old regime built a roster that lost in the first round back-to-back years. Then the new regime tore that down, rebuilt the roster, and now it's back-to-back years of losing in the first round. Okay, and I get it. Look, I got guys who are going to tell me, hey, they got Paolo and Franz. Yeah, but they got to get more than that. You can't just stay with this. They have no backcourt. They've got to make upgrades. Make some phone calls. Get off your ass and do something. How about you, Chase?
Oh, yeah. I'm absolutely the same way. I understand not making the move now because everybody's still developing. You still obviously you knew Paolo and Franz, but like you were still working out the kinks and everything. I think as soon as Paolo signs that rookie extension, that's when your window opens. That's when you need to start making moves. So the thing that was frustrating is we knew all year, hey, they need shooters. Hey, they need shooters. And then what happened? Nothing. And so I think other than Paolo and Franz, Mo Wagner, and Cole Anthony, because I love Cole Anthony and I like the energy guys.
Well, I'm happy you do. Mosley doesn't. He won't play him in the playoffs.
I know.
I know. Look, I like him too. He doesn't. He was great in the play-in game where he dropped 26 points on Atlanta. Jace, then he didn't play. He hasn't played this. Corey Joseph is playing. Yeah. Okay, who's as old as you are. I'm sorry, geezer. He's an old man out there. He's playing minutes. But like, what? Okay, I'm sorry I cut you off there. I had to get it off my chest. I like Cole Anthony. He doesn't play he didn't play last year. He didn't play this year.
Yeah.
What are you doing? I'm sorry. Please go on.
I don't understand that either because I feel like Cole Anthony's really good at providing a spark. Yeah, Corey Joseph is starting. I still don't understand that, and it's no offense to him. Maybe there's something there that I don't know, and that Mosley does. They desperately need shooters, and this is a scoring league. Yeah, the defense is great, but you're heavily reliant on Paolo and Franz, and if one of them has an off night, then that's it. Like you're done. And so the one thing I'm also getting tired of are these websites that say, "Oh, the Magic are odds favorite to get this." It's like I heard that with Klay Thompson. I heard that with Paul George. I heard that like trading for Anthony Simons, trading for Kobe White, trading for Cam Thomas. And guess what happened? None. Zero. No. That didn't happen. Before, we gave Weltman the excuse because they're still developing. Now, it's go time. This is what we paid you for. You're a real GM now. This isn't like Hennigan where you're just like this up-and-coming whippersnapper. Like, this is where you need to start putting in making your money and going to work.
Okay, I'll say this. Now you got me fired up. And I've been running around for like the last 5 days doing events. So you're getting me at the right time, Chase.
Perfect.
You write articles, stories for a living. Like you got to weed out what's fake, what's real. Okay, so I'll see those on the Facebook timeline. Okay, and you got to be a real idiot to think some of these are real. Like, oh man, Damian Lillard's coming to the Magic. No, he's on the Bucks right now. And he's injured. This is, I'll use President Trump, fake news. It's fake. Okay. They also, I will say this, like you're talking about, sitting on the bench. They dodged a bullet by not getting Paul George. Because if they would have given him $200 million to go host some podcast, that would have been bad. But you're right. It goes both ways. They need to swing for the fences, but they can't make the wrong move. It's like they're afraid to make the wrong move right now. But I'm with you. This is it. This is the offseason. Go make a move. Go do something. You can't run this back, Chase. You can't.
You can't. And I think the one thing that's also frustrating is just like as a whole, what is Jet Howard? Like we had all these picks, like Anthony Black, solid pick. I think he has a good future as well. I'll add him to the list of keepers. But what is Jet Howard? Because I feel like he's not developing either. I guess he's in the G League, so like, okay, that's good. But at the same time, like, he's still a top 10 pick. He needs to be here. Like Caleb Houston, I feel like is getting underutilized. I feel like he could perform better as like a volume shooter. But the problem is he's not getting the volume shots. And I know that we harp on, them not making moves. The KCP move was a good move at the time. He is providing great defense, but that scoring isn't there. We brought him in primarily for the scoring, and we just haven't seen it either.
I don't think he's scored 25 points combined so far in these 4 games. I'm not kidding around.
Oh,
I
I'm
know
on
you're
that
going to
right
be
now.
on it. I had a fan. I feel so bad saying this, but there was a fan sitting by me, and he said, I know this is like, he said, hey, look, it's KC no 3P. And that's literally what he said. And KCP late in that game hit a 3 last night, and he was like emotional hitting the shot. This isn't junior high. You got to hit those shots if they're going to win. All right,
Okay.
what's the stat?
Okay. Take a guess right now as to how many points he has scored in the past 4 games.
All right, so 4 games through this series, less than 25 points.
Correct. 17.
Combined.
Combined.
Did he have game 3? Did he have 0 points in the win?
Yes.
And played over 30 minutes.
Yes. All of them are over 30 minutes, by the way. So
I can
game
do that.
1, 6 points. Game 2, 3 points. Game 3, 0. He somehow got worse. Like, you would think, 6 points, game 1. He had a bad game. He ain't doing that again. Nah, bro. He did it twice. And then he had 8 points. Like, and here's the thing. He's a great defender. I will say that. But we brought him in to score threes, and he's not doing that. And that's the more frustrating part, is that we want him to bring in points.
I know. Another reason why the Joker will go to the Hall of Fame. I'm sorry. Yeah. KCP. And I know KCP won one in the bubble with the Lakers as well. But you look at him, Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, all those guys were elevated because of the Joker with Denver. That's what it is. Here's the other stat that stood out to me last night. So on the surface, Paulo Banchero, he scored 30 points again in the playoffs. This is awesome. He shot the ball 32 times last night. 32. He was 12 for 32. And then, he, like you were saying earlier, missing multiple free throw shots. Man, the offense cannot be Paulo and Franz bringing the ball up, and then everything is them going ISO. And the thing I said last night is he's trying too much hero ball. 32 shots, if I could do the math, that's 8 shots per quarter. I think I can do this off the top of my head. Is that right or no?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes. Yeah.
4 times 8 is 32. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Congratulations. You excelled at math.
I did.
Did not fail math class.
Yeah, my fifth grade teacher. Yes, will be proud of me. What were you going to say?
I'm just like looking at their stats again. Like, you're going to look at 31 points and say, man, that's a great game. You're going to look at 24 points. Man, that's a great game. But if I tell you, just like without any context, someone was 12 of 32, 5 of 7 from the free throw line, 2 of 6 from 3, that's not a good game. Like, if I told you someone was 10 of 22, 2 of 7 from 3, that's not a good game. Like, if we said LeBron did that, we'd be like, oh yeah, he's old. He's not good. Yeah. But we're giving Paolo all this praise. And like, Paolo's a great player. But at the same time, like, statistically, 31 points, good. But the way that he got it, it wasn't efficient. It wasn't good because, he had to play hero ball because he has no help around him.
I agree. That game was 91-91. I know Wendell Carter hit this tip in, got the foul. They tie it 4 minutes ago. I'm there at the building last night, Chase. That place is rocking and rolling.
Oh, I bet.
I joked with my sales manager. I was like, look, if you suffer from migraines or you don't like loud European techno music, you could not go to the Kia Center for a playoff game. Okay, because your head is going to explode from how loud it is. And then with 4 minutes to go, Boston said, the hell with this. We got Tatum, we got Brown, we're the champs, we're taking over. And they did. And they're the better team. They're going to move on. They're winning Tuesday. I'm sorry. They're going to finish this out. They're at home, and they're going to move on. Now, do I think Boston has holes? And do I feel like you can beat them? Yes. If you can, we've seen this in game 3 and 4. If they're not hitting their threes, you could beat them. They didn't hit 10 threes in game 4 or game 3. Magic, if they had any record here, if they just had any outside shooting, anyone from the outside can help them, the perimeter game, they win this series and they move on, but they don't. Okay. And I'm making my pick. I know I'm getting it all out there. Cleveland's going to the finals and they're going to beat Boston. That's my pick. I think Boston is vulnerable against a real team. I think they can lose in the playoffs. I do.
I think so too. What's funny is I was talking with some people and they were saying, do you lose the play-in game so you could face Cleveland. I'm like, no, I think I have a better chance against Boston because there was also that Jaylen Brown injury that you don't know. At the time, you were uncertain whether or not he was going to play the first few games. Like, Cleveland as a whole is such a good team. And I think that coaching, it's a good example of how good coaching can be, because, I mean, that was a 4 seed struggling against the Magic last season. And now they bring in, they didn't change anything. They just brought in a coach, one coach. And now they're the best team. They're one of the best teams in the league. They're the best team in the East. And they just look more complete. Like, they look deadly, and it's disgusting.
Yeah, I know. You know what's the best part? So we're in the arena last night, Chase, and there was a hard foul on Derek White. And, you know, these two teams have been bad blood. And I notice there's a pattern here. Anyone who takes on the Magic, there's somehow bad blood now, right? So over and over again. People don't like the Magic because they play physical. So let me give him credit. Old man, yes, Mr. Florida Gator, okay? He was not having it. He was not. Al Horford is like, that's it. And he was ready to throw down. And he was ready to take on the whole Orlando Magic team. This guy is awesome. I just want to say this. I think he should go to the Hall of Fame when he retires. I think Al Horford, from the standpoint, 2 championships in college with Florida, then he wins the title with Boston. He's going to play for, maybe he plays for 20 years. Al Horford, look, he's ready to throw down. That energy when a fight's about to break out at a basketball game. Oh, I like that, Chase. I wish you were with me for that. That was good.
What's funny is, like, I thought the same thing. I was driving home from Clearwater last night, and I thought, is Al Horford a Hall of Famer? And I had to think about it for a second. And I think, one, like, it's easy to get into the Hall of Fame, so I think that's it's hard to say no. But I think just his career longevity, how well his career has been. Like, yeah, he's jumped around, but I do think that he is a Hall of Famer. I like Hal Horford prior to this series. I don't know what it is. Like, he's been getting on my nerves. He's been getting a little bit too chirpy, and he's been getting too aggressive. And it's like, wait a minute. I don't like this Al Horford. Last year, I didn't mind Al Horford. I thought Al Horford was great. This season, I'm like, whoa, just cool yourself there, Al. Like, there's no need for this.
So you like people who are annoying and an instigator, just not when they mess with your teams. Is that what this is?
Oh, yeah. I never said I wasn't a hypocrite. That's why I love Jalen Suggs. Like,
I love it.
I mean, like, if you want to call me out, I know I limit my hypocrisies, but I won't eliminate this one. Exactly. Like, if Jalen Suggs was on the Lakers, I would curse his name every day. I would say that I hate him so much, but he plays for my team, and I love him to death. Stay with Mo Wagner. If Mo Wagner was on Boston, I would curse his name every day to my last dying breath. But he plays for my team, and I love him.
See, this is what's going to happen is they're going to end the season, the Magic, and then they're going to be like, well, we didn't have Mo Wagner. We didn't have Jalen Suggs. We weren't at full strength. They're going to do that. They're going to say that. And then you're going to be like, no, you have to do more than this. You have to. We are here on the Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys Studios. Take back control of your life. Call them today, 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. We also want to thank our great podcast partner, Walk On Sports Bistreaux in Vieira. That's the Magic. I have to let it go. I know they're going to play Tuesday, but let's go to the NFL. And I told you this before we went on, Chase. And we were at Chase Bunker, by the way. I had multiple coworkers come into my office this morning and not break down, oh, how did the Dolphins do in the draft or the Buccaneers, or what do you think of Travis Hunter? No. What do you think about this guy? And that's exactly, if I'm going to be an actor, it wasn't like, hey, what'd you think? No, it's, what did you think of this Shedeur Sanders guy? And how come he wasn't drafted? Or why did he go to Cleveland? I'm going to tell you this right now. He is the biggest loser of the weekend and the biggest winner of the weekend. If you're looking at content, the whole country is talking about. They're not talking about Cam Ward. They're not talking about Travis Hunter, Roger Goodell, Green Bay as a whole, Seth Rollins. No. They're talking about Shedeur Sanders. He's the big winner and loser of the weekend. Chase, I want you to chime in. As a guy that does news for a living, what do you think of this story?
I think it's absolutely crazy just because it was one of those, like, first off, like, there was this broad spectrum of where he's going to go. He is either a top 3 pick or he might not make it out. He might not even be a first round pick. And
Yeah.
like first off, there was that broad spectrum. So people, it was like, do you remember when Tim Tebow was getting drafted? And a lot of people were really high on him, but they were also like incredibly low on him. Like, well, his accuracy, he doesn't throw the ball right, and all that. It kind of reminded me a bit of that. Um, so there is that aspect. Then there's the prank phone call that he's going to get drafted, and then it's like you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer. Which felt at that point, after seeing him then get out of the 3rd round, I just felt horrible for him because you're supposed to be like either top 3 first round or maybe 2nd round, and then all of a sudden your draft stock keeps going down and down, and then you get kicked while you're down with this prank phone call, and I just felt bad for him. And I guess if he likes attention, which I'm guessing he does because he's in the Prime family, that's good for him. But at the same time, you just have to wonder, like, all right, where am I going? Because especially when all these teams that need a quarterback are passing up on him, I'm starting to get a little bit of offended, and I'm also feeling like a bit sad just because it's just a massive disappointment, especially when you have all those people over, all those fans over. You have legendary like propped up around your room. I was a bit frustrated. I felt bad for him, honestly. Like it's really disappointing. Now, as for going to Cleveland, I'm surprised Cleveland of all teams made the move because they just drafted Dylan Gabriel the round before. Not to mention the fact that they also just traded away their 2nd pick, which could have been Travis Hunter. So he could have had his immediate number 1 connection. And so I thought that they kind of botched it. Honestly, one team that I thought should have done it was the Miami Dolphins, given Tua's recent history. And I thought, okay, the fast-paced nature of Colorado's offense in comparison with Miami, I thought that he would have been a perfect fit, at least as a backup for the time being, because if you're in the 4th, 5th round, you're looking at backup territory. You're not looking at a starter.
Okay, there's many factors to this story.
Yes.
First off, okay, would Bart Simpson be proud of the crank call? Is this the greatest crank call of all? Did Seymour Butts make the phone call? Amanda Hugginkiss? Who made the phone call? Who is stupid enough to think this was a real phone call? Okay, I don't. And what's funny is this is the bizarre world we live in. The Atlanta Falcons had to release an official press release saying, and I don't. This is why it's such a Falcons move.
Mm-hmm.
They had to explain what they did, how stupid. They should have just said, look, someone in the organization, the phone number got leaked. We apologize. No. Press release says, which millions of people have seen now, it said, oh, the defensive coordinator and then the son called it. You know, it's so 28-3 Falcons stupidity. They are one of the dumbest franchises. I know Cleveland says, hold my beer. But Atlanta, you are an embarrassment that this happens. And again, if you're getting, and it wasn't just Sanders, I think multiple players were getting punked, if I'm using that term, from 20 years ago. You can't be that stupid. If you're getting pranked by that, maybe you shouldn't be drafted in the 1st round. Okay. And again, what was the name? What was the name you used? Hey, this is Seymour Butts calling with the Cleveland Browns, with the Atlanta Falcons. So dumb. All right. And then Cleveland is a dumpster fire. They had 5 rounds. They took 2 quarterbacks and 2 running backs. They don't know how to build a franchise. They have shown you they have no idea. So they have Deshaun Watson, who can't play. They gave him $200 million. Joe Flacco, who's 40 years old. Yeah. Joe Flacco was start. Then Kenny Pickett, where his hands are too small. Okay. He can't play either. Then Dylan Gabriel, who can't play either. Right. And I'm sorry, Dylan Gabriel is played on 3 teams. If he had more eligibility, he would have been on 9 teams in college. Okay. Then Sanders, and I'm sorry, I think he might go down as the worst interviewee of all time in the history of the United States of America, because the stories that are coming out about him and how he handled himself in the interview process And Brian Daboll said it, who's not even a good coach with the Giants. He was unprepared. He was nonchalant. He was entitled. One of the worst. He did this to himself. I'm sorry. He went with this with the watch. And should I keep going? Am I giving the best man speech? Should I keep going, Chase?
You're absolutely right with all of them. Like, and I think there is some criticism to his game. I know that his arm strength isn't exactly the most stellar. His accuracy can be off from time to time, but like I feel like there's a lot of people that didn't like him because of his arrogance, and I know they do that with a lot of athletes. If they don't like, a lot of people just don't like the arrogant athlete. A lot of fans, I should say, don't like the arrogant athlete. And I think Shedeur initially, let me put on my tinfoil hat for a second.
Okay.
I think he purposefully tanked some of his draft stock. I think the only reason is because he didn't want to go to some of these bad teams. Like the Giants, I think, are a bad team right now. They need multiple things other than a quarterback. The Raiders need multiple things other than a quarterback. And I think he tried to tank his stock a little bit to go lower to like a good team that just has like a few quarterback issues. And it ultimately bit him in the butt in the end.
You know what? All theories are on the table. They really are. I'm sorry. And you know what's funny with Mel Kiper, who went crazy? He was all in on Shedeur Sanders. And I like the comments I saw yesterday that Mel Kiper is welcome to the Sanders barbecue every year. Okay. It's like he's all in. And I want to say this, like Mel Kiper's the GOAT. He's one of the reasons the NFL draft is as big as it is now. And where you get all these wannabes that want to be like Mel Kiper. He's the GOAT. He is. And he made this comment of, hey, the last 50 years, teams don't know what they're doing with the quarterback position. He's absolutely right. He is. I'll stand up for Mel Kiper. It goes all over the place with this. I think, again, he was an okay college quarterback. I think that the whole circus was too much for teams. With Deion, with being the dad, and Deion would call up the coach and probably tweet about it. And look, dude, the President Trump was tweeting about it Friday. The whole country is talking about him. Everyone is talking about this.
When the president posted that, first off, I saw a headline that said President Trump sticking up for Shedeur Sanders. I thought that had to have been a fake news headline. I'm like,
no,
wait, I'm sorry, what?
No.
And I'm not getting political. This has anything to do with political bias or anything. I want to put that out there. I have to maintain some form of journalistic integrity. I thought it was fake. So I'm like, wait, what? Like, I'm just like, it's a random Saturday, and I just see it like I see the Truth Social post, and I'm just like, this is real.
Yeah, it's real. It is. When he was at the combine and he was up there with the bling on and the backwards hat, and it's just like his dad. Then he's like, well, do you know who my dad is? And I've accomplished this. I've done it. You've done jack squat. Okay. Nothing. He turned me off then. He did at the combine. He turned me off. And if you go back to the tape after that combine on Monday, I came on and said, I am out on Sanders. I'm all in on Cam Ward. Cam Ward, again, make his way up through college. Can't stress this enough, Chase. He took another 6-6, 7-5 Miami team and made them a legit contender in the ACC. And if they had a lick of defense, they would have been in the playoff. Cam Ward is the real deal. He should be being talked about right now. But it's all about Sanders. And you know what? Trump did tweet about him or X about him or whatever the hell it's called now. Okay. Truth Social. He did he's the big loser and the big winner of the weekend. Everyone in the country knows who he is now. Everyone. He's not good. He's not good.
Yeah.
Will he play this year for the Browns?
Oh, yeah, because they're going to get fed up, and I think the fans are going to call for him. Deshaun Watson's going to either get hurt or another investigation is going to happen. Joe Flacco is going to be a bit old. They're going to lose some games. I think you absolutely I wouldn't be surprised if he starts by like week 10 or something.
Will the Browns be a dumpster fire, and then they will have to draft another quarterback next year?
Is water wet? Is the sky blue? I mean, death taxes the Browns drafting a quarterback. Like,
I like to bring up Tebow. Okay, so you brought up Tebow.
Yeah.
Tebow was a winner and a great teammate and a
Yes.
champion. He just wasn't a good NFL quarterback prospect. He wasn't. He was. But Josh McDaniels and the Denver Broncos stupidly took him in round 1. That was the problem. That Tebow should have been a tight end for 15 years in the NFL. That's what he should have been. But I mean, look, he got drafted in round 1. He said, "Oh, I'm a quarterback then." That's the NFL thinks of me. That's what it is.
And what's funny is like it's difficult to say because you want to get in with the old they want me to be like it's almost like Lamar Jackson in a way. They want me to be a running back, but I know that I'm strong enough to be a quarterback and I'm the best. I'm good enough to be a quarterback. And now with Lamar Jackson, it's great. It's a great story. Incredible player. With Tebow, it's like they want me to be a tight end, but I think I could be a good quarterback. Yeah, you probably should have listened to that. Like it's one of those like it's either great for the story or incredibly hurtful for your career, and that's why you had that 3 weeks of him being a tight end at the lowly Jags, that like really dark age Jags with Urban Meyer.
I'll just tell you this: at the same time, Chase Bunker, I kind of understand because if you look at my career, and I want you to chime in, okay?
Yeah.
In my career, I am 20 years in out of college. I'm an OG. I made it. 20 years. Directors, they'll tell me, Mark, you rough around the edges. I've heard, you're a great clubhouse guy, but you'll never be the 3 hitter in the lineup. I've heard all that. I've heard this. I've heard on jobs, we want you to be behind the scenes. We don't want you to be the host, or we don't want you to be the star. We want you to do, oh, yeah, okay. All those jabronis who say that, they're not in the industry anymore, okay? So there's a part of me, I get that. Like, I get where you're motivated, where someone would tell you you're not good enough to be a quarterback. Like, that stuff I get. Lamar Jackson, go watch his college tape. Go watch. He's killing people as a quarterback, killing them. Go ask Florida State their thoughts on Lamar Jackson. Destroyed the Seminoles. He won the Heisman. He made Louisville a legitimate contender. No, he should be a tight end. No, the one with Lamar Jackson is comical when you look at it now that he went to 32. And your career, I know you're a pro. I know they've said things to you. I know they have in your career all the time. Yeah. Come on.
I had a professor at UCF straight up tell me in a meeting that I don't belong in radio or television and I don't belong at UCF. And so what's funny is when I was working at the movie theater in Orlando, I saw him the day before I started at WDBO in Orlando, like the day before. I was about ready to go, hey, remember when you told me I don't belong in radio and television? Well, guess who just got a job? And like double middle finger shimmy into like the back room. I was ready for it. And also, not to toot my own horn, I was a finalist for Best Economic Reporting from the FABJ. And so I thought about just taking a picture and sending it to him with a giant middle finger. I have like a middle finger that's kind of like, I won't show it. Like, it's almost like Matthew Lillard in the movie 13 Ghosts, where it's like this incredibly like 12 inches of bleep you. And so I just want to do that. Like, that's my middle finger, is just this giant trophy. But I didn't.
You didn't. No, you're too humble. See, you're not Deion Sanders' kids. I'm sorry. You're not. I
like how you call me humble as I brag about getting second place in second place trophy.
Look, I get it. So I just want to bring this up. I knew once I said that, I know I'd get an emotional response from you, because you got to have thick skin to be in the public eye. You really do. Yeah. And by the way, and I know we've gone about 40 minutes here. Chase is were you a finalist for your reporting on Black Friday? What was this thing you were up for?
Yeah, so I talked about video games for an hour and I got second place for it.
Nice.
Well, okay, so I could talk about it now, and I was legitimately pissed off when I saw that I got second place because I wanted to win. All right, therapy time. Here we go. I got in second place too many times in my life, and it's frustrating. Like, soccer, second place in the DC Cup multiple times.
You never won. Is that what this is?
I'm not kidding when I say this. I do not listen to We Are the Champions by Queen. Every time it comes on, I turn it off because it reminds me of a childhood memory that I said, oh, we're going to listen to this when we win the tournament. What happened? Second place. I don't listen to it. And so I saw finalist instead of second place. I'm just like, it's another second place. And I was legitimately angry. And I listened to it. I'm a better talker than this guy. It was like listening to round robin reading at Lockmar Elementary. That's what it sounded like. And I'm like, the reporting's good. The words on the paper were good, but the voice and the broadcasting award, so much better. I am so much better.
All right. I want to say this to you. I'm very proud of what you did. I remember, was it 2 years ago? I remember you telling me on the phone, you're like, yeah, I'm going to try to do this like Black Friday special about deals going on for Black Friday. And I remember, and this is for our viewers and our listeners, we're at Chase Bunker. I remember you telling me, I'm going to try to present this to my news director and like, I'm going to see if we can get this on for Black Friday. And you really worked on it. You did. So wasn't this the second year you've done it now?
Yes.
Is that right?
It's
so
dude,
that's
what's
awesome.
Funny is like, I got you and I talked about this live on the air.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of got the idea. Like, okay, I think we can maybe work this out now.
Yeah. So you're going to do it again.
Oh,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what's going to happen. Yeah, you are. And we're going to get the head of Nintendo on this time. And you're going to talk about the Switch 2 with him for Black Friday.
I'm going to try to do that. Yes.
Yeah. Looks again. I am proud of you that you are a finalist. Okay. And you are going to get your Stanley Cup for broadcast journalism. You are going to get, I promise you, you are going to win moving forward. Okay.
I'm going to have such an emotional reaction for an award that many view as like frivolous. Everyone's like, whatever. It's weird that people in our industry are just like, yeah, I didn't really try for awards this year. And it's like, what? Like, why are people like not care about awards? It's like, it's a big ultimate winning thing.
What was there actually like a banquet? An award ceremony? Oh,
yeah,
where was that?
It was over at the Rosen. And it's like this big, grand, over in Orlando. Like it's this big, like grandiose thing. It's all like media heads from around, like throughout the state. So it's a good networking opportunity as well. And it was just one of those where, was it last year they had a guy from CNN on, and he's talking about like, hey, I realized I was a high functioning alcoholic, and I know that reporters know how to hold their drink. And I'm like 4 margaritas deep already, and I'm like, oh gosh, am I an alcoholic? And then I ordered like 3 more margaritas after that.
Do you know you're going to win before going to the awards banquet, or do they announce there who the winner is?
They announced there.
All right. You got to submit. All right, here's what we got to do. You got to submit. So we got to do it Black Friday. You have to do the actual thing. Then we submit, and then I will go next year to show you support. I will go to this. Forget your wife. Forget her. I'm going. Okay? I will be more entertaining. I'll be your +1. And if you don't win, I will get up on the stage like Kanye West, and I'll say, Chase Bunker had a better... I'm going to go up there. Chase Bunker and Beyonce had the 2 best country albums of the year, and they deserve this award.
I appreciate
That's what's going to happen.
I appreciate that.
All right. I would ask you about Switch 2, but look, I'm not buying it day one. I'm not buying. No, I don't think so. I'm not buying. I'm going to say this right now. I'm not spending $500 to get a mobile PS4 that should have came out 5 years ago, so then I could play Mario Kart. I could play Mario Kart now on my phone for free. Okay, enough of it. Enough. I'm putting my foot down. No mas. Yeah. Are you buying it?
No. We did a whole episode on this on That Game Show where we kind of broke it down. By the way, like all the hardware is impressive. It's a lot better. Their battery life is like 2.5 hours to like 4 hours. It's significantly smaller. And so I think we said, if you are a 1 console household, so if you only have the Switch, then you maybe can buy it because, you get games like Elden Ring, Cyberpunk, all these like more graphically intensive games, you can be able to play it. But if you're like me and you, where we have a PS2, or a PS5, a PC, a Switch, no. Like I probably won't get it for at least another year or two. And also, like, the $80 games, get out of here with that. Especially when Nintendo has this reputation of not putting their first party games on sale. Or if they're a sale, it's like $10 off. Okay, so $70 for Donkey Kong Bonanza. Ooh. Like, what is it? Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, a game that came out in 2017, mind you, is still $60. And when it goes on sale, it's like 40. It's like, no, this is an old game. Put this in like a player's choice collection, make it $30, and just get out of here with this.
Was this on your Black Friday special?
This will be. Oh, this will be. Oh, yeah, you're 100%. Going
all the other nominees, you're going down. Okay, you are going down. And if I need to appear on this, I will help you out. Okay, it'll be me and the guy that makes the Metal Gear games, Kojima.
Hideo Kojima.
Kojima, I'm sorry, that's the name. Yeah, we're both going to appear on this with you.
Okay.
That's what it's going to be. Yeah.
I need you to use all, because you've been getting a lot of the Mortal Kombat people on over the years. I need you to bring the whole cast of Mortal Kombat 1, and we're going to have this support. And so, like, when it just gets to this one category, best economic reporting, just like everybody just starts chanting my name. And it's going to sting even more if I get second place.
Okay. Do you want to do this real quick? This is why I have renter's insurance. Okay. You said one console family. I don't know what the hell that is. Here's what I have. Okay. All right. PS1, PS2. I have 4 PS3s. I had 2 PS4s. I gave one to my nephew. I have my PS5. Okay. I have 2 original Xboxes. I have 3 Xbox 360s. I think 2 of them are now broken. I have an Xbox One, Xbox Series S. Okay. I have a Nintendo, a Super Nintendo. I have 2 N64s. I have the Switch. I don't have the Wii U. I do have a Wii. I have a Genesis. I have my PSP. I have 7 arcade 1-ups. 2 of them are in storage. Is that too many for one individual?
No. It is not. It is not too many. I think like the one console family. I feel like nowadays, I know for us growing up, like you either had a PlayStation or Nintendo 64. You either had a Super Nintendo or a Sega Genesis. And I feel like after like the PlayStation 2 era is when you kind of like intermingled with other generations. Like that was when I had a GameCube and I later got a PS2, which later became one of my favorite consoles ever. Then I think that's when you start to see like, though I feel like the days of the one console household are very few and far between. They're pretty much gone, but like there's probably a few people out there still.
Did I just scare you with that answer? Is that what that was?
No, because well, first off, I thought you said one counselor family. I'm like, a family of all lawyers? Like, is that a new show on NBC followed by Night Court?
Look,
one counselor family.
My dad is a retired lawyer. My sister's a therapist. Good luck trying to get your argument in. Good luck with any of that. Okay.
Thanksgiving sounds wonderful over there.
Fantastic. All right, let's end with this with Chase Bunker. And I love my family, by the way.
Yes.
All right.
I love your family.
Let's bring
too.
this up.
Nice people.
Yes, you should. They're fantastic. Okay. Here is the lineup for Welcome to Rockville. And in case anyone's wondering, I've given away all the tickets. We are done. I'm sorry. I did the promotion from November to last week. Congratulations to all the winners. I am done. Yeah, I hope you have a great time.
Done.
Chase is hardcore for Rockville. He went all 4 days last year. By the way, did not stay in Daytona, drove back and forth from Jacksonville every single day. That was the first time I ever met you in person, and it was for about 5 minutes. And then we just went on our merry way. That's exactly what happened. And by the way, Chase is taller than he looks. No, seriously. You're like Billy Napier at Florida. Like, wait a minute, what? How tall is this guy? You are a tall individual, my friend. Tall.
How tall is Billy Napier?
Billy Napier's about like 6'3". He's tall. I'm telling you, same thing. How tall are you?
6'2".
Yeah, you got that right. You damn right. That was on the Tinder profile. All right. 6'2" indeed. Okay. I feel like this year, as you're looking at the lineup on the screen, this is more of a millennial lineup. People our age. Last year, I felt like was more of the Gen X, whereas Motley Crue and Foo Fighters, and it felt like it was older. They've done this a couple times now, where younger than older crowd. The Gen X or older, I do not think is super excited about this lineup. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that statement that I wouldn't be surprised if Gen X isn't really excited about it. This is definitely a millennial style lineup, especially when you look at like I guess like even like the older millennials as well, like kind of like fringe millennial, where like with like Green Day, Alice in
Yeah.
Chains, Three Doors Down, Incubus. But like if you just maybe Rob Zombie as well, but like just looking at it as a whole, a lot of like the headliners, it's all mostly like millennial bands like Shinedown, Hailstorm, Jimmy Eat World, Linkin
Yeah.
Park. Of course, like Friday's like the emo. It's either emo or like post-hardcore. It's like Green Day, also Kill Switch Engage, Under Oath, and so it's this weird spectrum. I think this is like if this came out, I think I said this too on your show last time. If this lineup came out in like 2008, we would not stop talking about it.
Yeah.
Until from like November to the day of the show because of like how loaded and stacked this is.
Okay, here's the $10,000 question for Chase Bunker, who is hardcore and loves Rockville, and he is going. If you can only go one day, which day would you go?
Okay, so I'm a bit biased because on Thursday, Finger 11's going to be there. And so for the listening audience, I'm wearing a Finger 11 shirt. Finger 11 is my favorite band of all time. I'm going Thursday just to see them. See Bullet for My Valentine again. Trivium's incredible. Hailstorm's great. Shinedown, I think I've seen them 2.5 times. Rockville got rained out that day. So that's the halftime.
I was there. There as well for Guns N' Roses.
Yeah. If only you could see that chat of everybody between me and you just getting so angry. So for me, I'm going Thursday. Saturday, I think, is an absolute incredible day. I think Saturday is a close second with Linkin Park. I've seen I Prevail and Hollywood Undead live out in Tampa. They're absolutely phenomenal. I saw them last year, I Prevail, and I've been listening to that album nonstop. Even when the Magic lost last night, I'm like stewing in my anger because I'm driving home again from Clearwater, and my wife's like, "Do you want me to put on some music to make you feel better?" And I go, "Yes, play the angry stuff."
Hey, answer the
I'll put on I Prevail.
Answer the question. One night, which one you going to?
Thursday. I'm definitely like Thursday, 100%, because it's a bias. I think for everybody else, you go Saturday.
Have you ever seen Marilyn Manson?
I haven't. I've heard a lot of people say he is. I mean, regardless of like, I know there's a lot of stuff that happened in his past. I know he had a case resolved. I heard that if you don't like him, his shows are at least entertaining. Like it's the word art is always thrown around with him, and so I don't know if I'll be able to see him, but it's one of those where a lot of people really praise his performances.
I think Korn and Marilyn Manson would be incredible. I think it would be awesome. It really would. I think I'm going Saturday though. I want to see Incubus. That's on my bucket list. And I know. Oh, it's the female sing. I kind of want to see Linkin Park. Look, there's so many great songs from them. There's so many. Do you want to see Linkin Park?
Yes, that's my wife. I said when I showed my wife the lineup, I said, I'm going Saturday. She goes, I'm going Thursday. She goes, we have to go Saturday because we've been listening to that Linkin Park album nonstop as well. It's a great album. And
year one.
Yeah. So it's one of those where I feel like I know it's a new lead singer and it's not going to be as nostalgic to some people, but I think the core of it, the heart of it is still there. And I definitely want to see that. And at very least, I just have to hear Empty in This Machine live because it's so good.
Do you start with Paper Cut? Do you come up to that?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I say yes.
I think
Yeah.
paper cut's a good one. I think I think you could come out to paper cut. I think you could come out to points of authority. I don't think you end with crawling. I think you can go out to crawling and just have that intro just kind of extended out as people walk in. And then like you just bam, immediately hit them with the screaming. And so I think crawling or paper cut, honorable mention, points of authority.
When I was in college back in the 1800s, whenever it was, I know I'm a boomer to our younger viewers. So I had my hair really long, and I'm not kidding around. Everyone's like, man, you look like the guy from Incubus, Brandon Boyd. I'm not kidding around. That's all I got for years. And we'd be at like keggers. And for my mother listening, that was when we would study. Wink, wink. So we'd be at these like house parties, keggers. And like girls would come up to me like, oh, man, you look just like the guy from Incubus. I'm like, yeah, it's me. I could be on tour right now, but I'm at Western Illinois at this campus party for sophomores. Yeah, it's me. Yeah. I'll sing Drive Now on a guitar. Like, no. So I have to see them. I have to see Lincoln Park. I want to see Korn. Can I like somehow, can there be like an Airbnb I can rent for just, I don't want to drive back. Can I just stay there in Daytona and get a hotel for less than $500? Is that come on, man? Can we do this?
First off, I'm glad that you got Brandon Boyd. I got Michael Cera growing up. That's what people said that I looked like. And so God help me when Superbad came out. That's another thing is that like the hotels over there, it's just they're so expensive. The Airbnbs.
Shut up. Michael Cera, what are you talking? You look nothing like that guy.
I know. I've been saying that for 18 years. That I do not look like Michael Cera.
Is this when Superbad came out? Is that what it is?
Yeah. So when Superbad came out, so like when Superbad came out, I remember so I was working at the Oaks across the street from you. It was 2000. It was a 2006 August, and everybody's coming out of the theater. They see me and my apron and the white tuxedo shirt and my bow tie, and they go, "Oh, you kind of look like that guy from Superbad." And it's like, I guess it's better than getting McLovin, but at the same time, it's like I don't see the resemblance, and people are like, "Oh yeah, I can kind of see that." Like,
I have to see a photo. I have to see a photo now. I have to see this. I got nothing. I think you have to end on that. I think okay, so you're going all 4 days then to Rockville, aren't you?
I'm at least going to 3 because that 4th day was just like I was slogging. I was like trudging through like
I don't blame
car trying to go to that Sunday.
It's the driving as well. And my favorite part of Rockville, by the way, is you take a wrong turn and then there's this whole other area. My coworker MJ and I found it like, where are we? Are we on the bad side of town? What is this? There's like this third stage. I swear, I'm like, did I leave the festival? What, you know where I'm talking about, right?
Yes, that's that 5th stage where they like isolated Insane Clown Posse. They had all like last year they had like ICP on like this secluded stage over the far end. It's like, hey, don't get any closer or else you're gonna get Hep B.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I know.
They just kept it over there. Now they upgrade them to the 3rd stage. They're like, so now you got to see all the juggalos when you walk in.
Dude, I told you this. I swear. So Eric, my coworker, and I, we're like, we're gonna go see ICP. We're here. We got to see ICP. So we see all these juggalos, and we go up. We're like right by one of the big stages, and we're like, okay, they're gonna come on. I've heard about ICP and how terrible they are for the last like 25 years. I'm going to see them. So we're kind of excited. So this guy comes out in clown makeup. And I'm like, okay, here we go. No, it was Mudvayne. It was bizarre. So I did see a guy in clown makeup bomb on stage. It was very bizarre. It was.
Every time now, like a Mudvayne song comes on the radio, my wife and I just immediately just go, so bad live. And it also could be like the sound was acting up that day because there was some issues, but like, oh my God, I like Mudvayne. Like, this isn't me being a hater, but it's just like, and like they're back again. So like I'm tempted to go back to see if there's like a redemption. Also, I need them to play Determined from Need for Speed Underground soundtrack because it is such a banger and it's such an aggressive song.
No. What I need to happen is I think I'm going to see Mudvayne and then ICP comes out. Then the circle of life will be complete. His name is Chase Bunker. Follow him on all the social medias. He does a great job there in Jacksonville News Talk Radio. We went an hour. I was not expecting that. But
yeah, remember we were going to talk about Travis Hunter?
Did we not even talk Travis Hunter?
No, we never even talked Travis Hunter. We talked about his teammate instead. His teammate drafted in the 5th round. I'll say this real quick. I don't know if there's a limit. So when I was talking with people about the draft for the Jags, and I even wrote a piece on it because nobody was expecting them to go up. I said, do you want them to get Genty? Do you want them to get Mason Graham? Or do you want them to trade down and maybe get like Ted McMillan or something? And I was talking with one guy, he goes, no, I want them to trade up and get Travis Hunter. And then like seconds later, I'm seeing reports. Oh, Jags are thinking about moving up. And I'm just thinking, is this guy is he trying to like make a point right now? Because he's this new young guy. Sure enough, Travis Hunter comes in and he's like, yeah, we're going to be bold. And the thing is, I thought he made the right move. I love the move. I love them getting Travis Hunter. And it's not because of like fan appeal or anything. He filled 2 needs with 1 pick. That's the thing. And so if this was Trent Baalke, they would have drafted some like Rutgers lineman or something. And so immediately James Gladstone comes out, who's younger than me, by the way. I don't know how I feel about that. He comes out here and he says, yeah, that old regime, done, gone. This is the new school. The future is now, old man. This is what we're going to do. And I thought it was a great pick. And I'm excited about it. That offense between Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr., I think it's going to be great. The O-line's bolstered. It's improved slightly. I just hope if they keep Trevor upright, that's a good team. That's a great offense. It's going to be fun to watch.
I like the idea of, hey, if you want to hear Chase's thoughts on the Jaguars draft, go to the 61-minute mark right at the end, and you can hear his thoughts. I just feel, I'll say this real quick, is like, it's the most irrelevant franchise in sports, not just the NFL. No one cares nationally about the Jaguars. For some reason, the owner keeps wanting them to become big in the United Kingdom. They're the most irrelevant franchise. They've been around since 1990, 3 or 4, whatever it is. They've never had a transcendent star. I can't even talk. They've never had a super duper star. You never. You're like, oh, well, we had Fred Taylor and Tony Baselli and Mark. No, I'm sorry. No, you've not. This guy will be must-see TV. Casual fans will want to tune in. Hey, what's Travis Hunter doing? Right? Like, you went for the home run. I say, what the hell? What do you got to lose? Like, you're right. You're going to do another 5-12 season. Who cares? This will put butts in the seats, eyeballs on the TVs. I say go for it. You got nothing to lose. Nothing.
I'm trying to work on the tagline. You can't spell dual. You can't say Duval without dual. That would have been much better if I said it right the first time.
Ooh, I like that. I do. And by the way, while you were talking, I was thinking that moment when Michael Cera, he smacks Rihanna and she turns around and punches him out. That's what I was thinking about.
Apparently, fun fact, apparently that was a real scene. He asked her if he could do that, and she says, only if I'm allowed to hit you back. And he said yes. And apparently she did not hold back either.
I imagine there's businessmen overseas who would also pay top dollar to Rihanna for that Michael Cera moment. I'm laughing.
You're not wrong.
I'm not wrong. Okay. Chase Bunker, my man. Thanks for helping. Have a great day. And thanks for doing this with me. All right.
All right. Thanks for having me.
He is the man. Oh, that was good. We are here in the Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. And hey, if you get into a car accident, truck accident, slip and fall, call my friends at Anidjar and Levine. That's Mark Anidjar and Glenn Levine. They will fight for you and get you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call for a free consultation and don't settle for just any attorney. Demand Anidjar and Levine. Take back control of your life. Call them today. 747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Also, Walk On Sports Bistreaux, home of the $5 Tito's all day, every day at Walk On's Vieira. All right, great show today. I just want to give a shout out real quick. Everyone who came out and helped raise money on Saturday there in Kissimmee at the City Walk at Promenade by Disney World for the 2025 Take Steps event. That was and raise money for the Crohn's Colitis Foundation of Central Florida. That was an amazing event. I appreciate Lane and Laura for letting me MC that event for the 5th time. So have a great Monday. I know the Magic lost, but we'll have some fun tomorrow. I know Alan Slaughter-Zinski, Brevard Sports Network, will join me. Have a great day.